Ireland take on France in the Under-20s Rugby World Cup final. My name is Mark, let's talk rugby. Ireland take on France in the Under-20s Rugby World Cup final for 2023. The game is in Athlone Sports Stadium in Cape Town. It's on Friday and the kickoff is 6 p.m. BST. So, two teams got here. Ireland beat South Africa, very spirited South Africa team in their semi-finals. Took them a while to get ahead. South Africa then came back at them, but then in the end, Ireland just had too much and pulled away. France, a little bit different from them. They actually went 17-0 down against England in their semi-final. Then were able to pull things back level and kind of went back and forth a bit, but then in the end as well for them, they just pulled away and had too much quality throughout the team. So two teams who had decent semi-finals meeting in this final. We're going to have a look at the two teams now. So we start with Ireland. So we've got McLeod, Osborne, Gavin, Devine, Nicholson, Prendergast and Gunn in the backs. Then we've got McCarthy, Paddy McCarthy that is, Gus McCarthy, Fox, Mangan, O'Tiernan, McNabney, Quinn and Gleeson in the forwards. The bench then is Klein, Haddon, Bard, Irvine, O'Connell, Cawley, Lynch and Berman. The French side then got Ferte, Troy, Deporter, Coste, Atasogbe, Luis, Yano, Pembene, Jovin, Afane, Aradu, Tulagi, Nauchi, Chego, Gazzotti, and then on the bench then they have Lacombe, Julien, Duchesne, Dufau, Ferreira, Carbonu, Materon, and Mondina. So in terms of players to look out for on the Irish side, Andrew Osborne has been pretty exciting on the wing, seems to go looking for work as well, doesn't just kind of hang out there, runs good supporting lines as well. I think Mark Erlin has been fairly solid at fullback as well. The big name in this team, I think, coming into the tournament certainly was Sam Prendergast at 10. So even though the South African commentator calls him Prendergast, but I can't say much because I just butchered pretty much the entire French team there. So, but yeah, Prendergast, I feel like it hasn't hit top form in the tournament yet. We've seen kind of patches, like some games where, you know, he's been good from the tee, and the games where he's been running the back line pretty well, but not necessarily kicking from the tee all that well either. So I think he needs to put all of that together in the final. We saw some really clever cross kicks from him as well, leading to tries. And, you know, I think all-round kicking game is going to be important against France as well. Then we have Paddy McCarthy at loosehead. So he's impressed me with his work around the field. Pretty tidy scrummager as well. Seems like fairly destructive. He does have a tendency though to do silly things and give away penalties, so hopefully less of that in the final. Gus McCarthy then, the captain, leading from the front there. You know, the fact that Ireland, they've got a decent maul and they rely on that a lot as well for kind of getting into position to score tries. Is that his darts have to be accurate, and then obviously carrying there at the back of the mauls as well is important. Diarmuid Mangan has been outstanding for Ireland in the back row. He switched to second row for this one, so we'll have to see how he goes there, whether he's going to have the same impact. Then his back row buddy's got Rudin Quinn, who I saw him playing. He actually made his debut for Munster, I think, very early on in the season in the URC, and the guy just looked like a unit. He looks like, he's a really good carrier, and he goes looking for work as well. Another one who's not shy to kind of get stuck in. Brian Gleeson scored an absolute whirly of a try in the semi-finals where, he ran over people, around people, and other people just avoided him as well against South Africa. So, yeah, those kind of the players are picked out, but I think, the good thing for Ireland is that the entire squad have been delivering as well. It's kind of been difficult, I think, for the coaches to get everyone that has been performing onto the pitch, because I think the guys coming off the bench are going to have an impact as well. Then on to France, and we have the port there, so he knows his way to the try line and can't really allow him to have much ball in kind of open space or close to the try line, because the guy knows how to finish. So watch out for him. Then Hugo Roos, I feel he's probably of the halfbacks, kind of gets overshadowed a little bit, but he still is a quality player. And we've got Prendergast for Ireland, but he will be pulling the strings there for the French as well, but also pulling the strings for them is Jeannot, who the guy is almost Dupont 2.0 if you look at some of his play, like great threat running with the ball, very hard to actually put down as well, has an absolute bullet of a pass, runs great support lines too, so can often get on the end of things or just be a link play to make sure a move doesn't break down as well. Guy looks like he's going to be an absolute superstar. Then into the pack, then you got Solo Tuilagi. Guy is just absolutely massive. Like, he's a man mountain, like think Will Skelton type size. But seen even against England, like it takes two big forwards to tackle him down, and that's going low, going at his legs. Not trying to tackle him upright. So the guy, if you don't stop him early and stop him getting up momentum, he's really going to make meters against you. Then captain Lenny Nucci, he's really good to break down, but also in open play as well. Very good link player, and he's made a few breaks. He's not afraid to carry for the hard yards either, and he seems to have a bit of a pace about him as well when he gets on a break. Then the last player that I'm going to highlight for them is Gazzotti. So this guy, if Tuilagi wasn't in the team, he would be the kind of the monster player that everybody was talking about. He's a very hard carrier, and again, another player that's hard to put down. And often the two of them actually go in tandem with maybe, Gazzotti latching on the back of Tuilagi just to make things even more difficult for the opposition. Again, he can break the line, and in open play as well, he has good awareness of who's there in support, and is not afraid to look for the pass to hand off as well to keep a move going. But like this French side is just full of quality, and similar to Ireland, you could mention the entire starting 15 as players to watch, but I had to just kind of keep it down to a few for each team. So beyond that, then we talked about how the teams got here. Both teams, I feel, have been very effective with their mauls. I have a feeling that France probably have that little bit extra raw power, but I think Ireland's organisation in the maul kind of helps them as well. So it's going to be an interesting one to see who gets on top in that one, especially when you've got two teams who are really good at attacking mauls. How good are they going to be defending? Probably for each of them, certainly this tournament, better mauls than they've faced so far. Then one thing I noticed that England showed that you can get joy against this French team if you can break that first line of defence, and also there is space out wide if you can get kind of numbers out there. You can once you get in behind them, you have a great chance of making good yards or even scoring. But something from Ireland's point of view is that we haven't seen Ireland breaking line all that often through the tournament. So if they can do it, they're going to have to, make sure that they finish off the chances, because I have a feeling it's going to be a tight game, and especially early on, and taking those chances is going to be very important. France, kind of almost opposite Ireland, they can score from anywhere, similar to their full side, that when in those transitions is when they're really, really dangerous. When ball goes loose on the floor and they've got advantage, they're not just looking to play for the scrum or the penalty. They're looking to go and to go hard, and because of that, a lot of players will commit to the break as well and give them a better chance of success. From Ireland's point of view, a lot of their tries have actually come through the forwards, and even some of the backs tries have basically been the forwards penning up and then it being spread out close to the line and then somebody going over in the backs. But haven't seen that many in terms of Ireland spreading the ball around, making breaks and then finishing them off. They do make breaks, but generally just for position rather than for scores. So again, I'd like to see a bit more of that. Maybe some players taking a bit more of a risk and going and supporting someone who potentially could make a break rather than trying to kind of stick to their plan. Also, France, they've been on hot form all throughout the tournament, right from word go, and they beat New Zealand pretty handily, had a big test against the English, but then in the end came over the top of them and were comfortable towards the end of the game at least. Ireland have improved all the way through the tournament. I felt like they had that game against England where 10 minutes to go they're 14 points up, end up in a draw. Can't do that kind of thing, lose that much concentration against this French team, because if they get a lead on it, it's going to be very hard to actually peg them back. But then decent performance against Australia, where it was kind of tight at half time, pulled away in the second half. Similar against Fiji, where Fiji kind of came back at them and put it up to them, Ireland pulled away. And then South Africa again, tight in the first half, then Ireland pulled away in the second half. So if Ireland can do that against this French team as well, just kind of keep in the game, not necessarily be winning, but if they do have a little bit of lead going into half time, they do have that ability to kick on and stretch that lead out in the second half. I think that's going to be important in this. It's going to be who can kind of produce that finish in the last 20 minutes or so, just to get themselves ahead and maybe get their hands on the trophy. So overall then, can Ireland beat this very impressive French team? Well, they did it in the under-26 nations already this year on their way to a Grand Slam, but I feel like they're going to have to play the best game that they played in the tournament so far if they're going to lift the trophy.